Rubin is one of the most successful music producers in the world, but his book, The Creative Act, is not about music at all. It's about how to live a creative life, even if you don't consider yourself an artist. So these are 5 lessons that help me develop and trust my creative process. Firstly, creativity is not about output, it's about awareness. You want to develop this self-awareness muscle. When you go to do the creative act, what are you feeling? What are you experiencing right now in the moment? And how can you use this to express yourself in the creative process? Just think, use the difficulty. How can I use the difficulty during this creative act? In other words, if anything bad or difficult happens in your life, as we're bound to face several obstacles, how can you use it to your own advantage? Even if you can use this difficulty by 1%, how can you use it right now when you go to do the creative act in your work? If you can use a lot of the obstacles, a lot of the feelings, a lot of the good and bad, complicated things that happen in life in your artwork, how can you go about using it to express yourself in the work itself? A great example is Kintsugi. It's a Japanese form of art or making pottery, where you take a bowl and it's cracked and broken and you fill it with gold or with platinum or with different metals. And the idea is you create this one unique piece where you fill in all these various cracks with even more value. You make the item even more valuable by embracing its cracks and its beauty. So with your life, what are the struggles, what are the cracks in your own life where you can actually lean into? So then once you embrace the cracks in your life, that can be part of your story and boost you even more forward. That can actually be part of your own beauty within the art that you're creating. So always think about how can you tell your story chronicling your past experiences. Additionally, having the courage to display this self-awareness and all the complex things you're feeling in the art. You have to have the courage, let go of any fears, and just embrace this current moment and embrace the awareness and the process itself. Next up, the process is the product. Don't worry so much about the goal or what you're trying to aim to create. Just focus on enjoying the process itself. Enjoy the adventure, enjoy the journey of doing the thing. Whatever that creative process is for you, that is where the real magic happens, in doing the creative act. So don't worry or stress yourself so much that when you finish, you look at it and maybe you don't really enjoy the final product. Did you enjoy that overall process? Sometimes we spend so much time as creatives like having an idea of what the output should be or has to be, and we work it up so much, and then if it's not that or if it's off even by just a little bit, the whole thing's like absolutely ruined because it's not exactly how we sort of see it in our heads or want it to be. But that's fine. Embrace the fact that the process is the actual magic. Where the magic happens is doing the creative act. It's not the final product itself. Just enjoy your process, whatever that looks like for you. Remember, you're not creating to get somewhere, you're creating to enjoy the process. Make room for the unknown. When it comes to the creative process, the most original ideas come from letting go of control. So focused on being consistent, but find ways to break routine in your routines. For example, let's say your goal is to read. Well, be consistent in the reading itself, but break the routine by changing up the environment or by changing the time of day that you read or the style or types of books that you read. Whatever you do, make sure you're consistent, but finding ways to enjoy that process by being open to trying and tasting and testing different areas of that process. That way you get a better experience and exposure to things you like and don't like in that process. Plus, I think it helps keep things novel, and novelty is one of the best ways to actually learn new things and thus enjoy doing the thing. But you want to find ways to break routine in your routines. Next is collect beauty intentionally. So, of course, everybody has their own definitions of what beauty is. But I think with the beauty, no pun intended there, but the beauty of this book is you learn how to observe life like an artist, noticing all the little details in every little thing you do, everything you enjoy. So let's say, for example, you want to go for a walk. Notice the trees, notice the sky, notice the stars, notice any detail that intrigues you and find ways to enjoy and find beauty in that, but also find ways to collect this beauty, whether it's taking a picture, whether it's literally like whatever quotes you have, write them down and store them somewhere, whether it's a toy, whatever. Find ways to collect this beauty, even if it's just like mental collections of, okay, you know, I remember when I was looking at this tree the other day and it was just so beautiful because of the shapes and colors. Great. But find ways to collect beauty in your life, because life has its ups and downs, but being able to reflect on these past things that you connected with, that you enjoyed, that perhaps inspired you, or, you know, left you feeling with a little more hope, whatever those things are, collect them, because they can really help refocus and repurpose your energy, especially when perhaps you think you don't have that much energy. Well, being able to reconnect with these beautiful things that you found or that you can remember throughout your life, I think really help re-hone in that energy to work on the creative act. And this is going to be different for everybody, but whatever that beauty is for you, make sure you're taking time to intentionally save it, store it, or do what you can with it so you can use it when really needed, when, you know, you're really feeling down. Next, we have one of my favorites. Your environment is a creative tool. I know I lightly mentioned this in Make Room for the Unknown, but you want to treat your environment as a tool within itself. Wherever you are, like the setting and the space that you're in is itself a tool. And I think of this as like a tool of energy. If it's really rainy outside, that might have an effect on your mood. Maybe you really like rain, so great, that boosts some of your energy. Maybe you don't like rain, fine. But wherever your environment, your setting is, that is going to affect your energy. That's a lot of the time why I prefer to record my videos standing, because I feel a little more energetic and I can move and I can talk with my hands and have all this extra energy to try my best to show up for you. Instead of sitting down, I try to embrace, you know what, I'm going to stand up and lean more into the energy. Sometimes when I want to go study, I don't want to just study in my office. Go to the library, go to a bookstore, go to a cafe. Again, changing your environment so you can change the energy when you go to do the creative act. I actually used to think this was so like silly, like, oh, you know, just sit down and do your work. But it's actually important to make sure you're thinking of your environment as a tool that is there to fuel you with energy. And so thinking of your environment as a tool, I think allows you to say, okay, is this environment going to be conducive for me to focus or to study or to paint or to write or whatever you need? And if not, great, change the environment. If you're not able to go to a completely different environment, then how can you slightly alter or change the environment in some way that you feel more inspired? So for example, developing a ritual. For me, I have headphones. I really enjoy using these as a signal to myself, like just a small psychological signal of, okay, when I go to pick them up and place them on my head, it's time to get the work done. It's time to focus. I've also found earbuds work for me as well, just when it comes to reading. I don't like the idea of having to take them out until I've finished the task. It sounds kind of silly, but it's really helped me with like, once I put them in, because I know I don't like to like reuse like single use earplugs, I'll put them in, get my reading done, and then just dispose of them instead of like reusing them. And again, it sounds kind of silly, but it's definitely worked for me, and it's really helped me just focus in. Just finding some rituals and utilizing them to sit down and get the work done and signal it's time to work, it's time to create. The 5 lessons from Rick Rubin that helped me on my creative act. Creativity is not about output, it's about awareness. The process is the product, not the output. Make room for the unknown. Collect beauty intentionally, and environment is a creative tool. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you've read The Creative Act, A Way of Being by Rick Rubin, let me know your comments, thoughts, ideas, favorite quotes. I really do enjoy hearing from you. I really connected with this book, really enjoyed this book. I did not expect to get so much value out of this book, but this is certainly one of the first creative books I've read that I think I've really just my creative side really connected with. And hopefully this book connects with you. Remember, today's a great day to have a great day. So have a great day, and thanks for watching.